The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien coming to you live from TFNN Wednesday morning, 8:30 a.m., 1 hour to go until the opening bell. And we got markets in positive territory yet again. Yesterday started in positive territory. By the end of the day, you had the indices pretty close to flat, if not positive, but a mixed day by the end of the day. But today we're back where we started yesterday. Dow futures up about 140 points, 29,369. S&P futures up 13 at 33.71. NASDAQ futures up 47 points at 95.75. Oil catching a bid this morning. Oil up more than $1 above $51 at 51.06. And yields higher as well. The 10-year, 1.62%, up about 3 basis points. We're going to start things off. We got a chart of the S&P up here. It's a 5-day chart going back to the lows that we had last Wednesday. Early Wednesday, 32.88. You back this up and put it even on an hourly to see the real low that we had on the beginning of February, 32.12. Yesterday, early in the day, as I said, reaching a level of 33.74. You see the acceleration. This is an hourly. I'm going to put it back to a 15-minute. There's yesterday's action. Towards the close, quite an acceleration. You actually closed the day out in the S&Ps at about 33.56. From there, though, higher territory all overnight. We get a pop at about 3:15 a.m. Eastern time as well. Currently near pre-market session highs in the S&P of 33.71. The highs of yesterday, about 3 points above where we're trading at right now, 33.7450. What else we have happening? Checking in on the VIX this morning. Volatility index, as you may expect, pulling back in the face of a market that continues higher. 1450 this morning. Not sure if that's a real print of 1401 just in the last half hour. Jumping around to some of the other indices. We'll start it off with the Dow. You back things up to where we were last night. There is the close of business at 4 p.m. Eastern time, 29,222. You're up about 150 Dow points, 29,370 right now. There's the acceleration just after 3 a.m. Eastern time in the Dow to higher prices as well. NASDAQ 100, 95.75, actually made it above 95.80 on a couple occasions early this morning, about 2 hours ago at 6:40 a.m. Eastern time, and also on that run higher at about 3:30 a.m. Eastern time. There's your S&P, which we covered, 33.71, right up there near the highs of 33.72, the high from yesterday morning, 33.74. Crude oil, look at that spike. Crude at 8 a.m. this morning, trading from $50.91, spiking, $50.75, now above $51 at 51.02. Not that long ago, you back it up to Tuesday, and we were trading in the 49 range Tuesday afternoon, 49.74. And gold contract trading a bit lower this morning, 15.68. You back it up to the close yesterday. On Tuesday, gold finishing the day at around 15.71, actually traded down to a low of 15.65, and the euro-US dollar at 109.10. In terms of other news happening around the market, coronavirus update seems to be what I start the program off with, but while it's in the headlines, you got to cover it. An additional 97 deaths, 2,000 confirmed cases, that bringing 1,638 newly diagnosed confirmed cases related to it, and that number just continuing to rise. OPEC cuts oil demand outlook in 2020 as coronavirus outbreak stifles China. This, its own separate story. I was going to cover it, but why not get into it right now? So OPEC slashing oil demand outlook for 2020 as the coronavirus outbreak stifles China seems to make sense if you're following the amount of factories, the amount of quarantines. OPEC downwardly revised its outlook for global oil demand growth to just under 1 million barrels per day, 0.99 million barrels per day in 2020. That's down 0.23 million barrels per day. You're talking about a 23% reduction in oil demand from the previous month's estimate. The amended forecast is likely to reinforce the case for OPEC and allied non-OPEC producers, including Russia, to impose additional OPEC cuts sooner rather than later. That may be one of the reasons that you're seeing crude this morning catching quite a spike to above $51, 51.07. Other news out there, Lyft out with their earnings last night. Beats revenue, but stock falls. I believe they missed on earnings pretty substantially as well. Reported earnings for the fourth quarter of 2019 last evening beat analyst estimates on revenue and active riders, but a lot of their expectation having to do with profitability, as Uber came out last week and said that they will be profitable by the end of this year, which was a surprise, and they traded higher. Earnings, a $1.19 loss versus a $1.39 estimate, so not bad actually. Beat estimates on revenue and active riders, but the stock is down. So there's your estimate. Loss per share, only lost a $1.19 versus a $1.39 expected. Adjusted earnings before interest, tax deductions, $130 million. They were looking to lose $164 according to estimates. Revenue above $1 billion. The estimate was only $984. Active riders 22.9 versus 22.8. Revenue per active rider, I mean, beats all across the board here. But what it has to do with is investors' renewed attention to Lyft after Uber smashed expectations on its profitability timeline. In its fourth quarter 2019 earnings last week, Uber said the company is moving its profitability target to the Q4 of this year. Lyft has previously said it expects to be profitable on an adjusted EBITDA basis by the fourth quarter of next year. It did not address its profitability target in its earnings press release, and CFO Brian Roberts told CNBC that he would address profitability on a call with analysts Tuesday afternoon, but would not answer questions about the timeline. On the call, Roberts reiterated their profitability target of fourth quarter of 2021. So no upgrade to that. That kind of what the market is reacting to. Lyft provided Q1 2020 revenue guidance of $1.05 to $1.06 billion. The estimate pretty much right in line. EBITDA loss between 145 and 140. Analysts were expecting 160. So it looks like analysts looking for them to lose about 160. They're going to lose about 140. But nonetheless, no revision to the fact that they are not going to be EBITDA profitable until the end of next year, whereas Uber, on the flip side, a full year in advance. Lyft this morning, there's your action last night, closed at about 53.94. This morning, trading at about 51.30. You see the acceleration. This is Uber's earnings coming out last Thursday night, and Lyft was only trading at $47 prior to that. So you got to run all the way from 47 up to 54, still trading at 51.30. And as far as Uber, there's your Uber chart. You see their earnings coming out when they were at about 36 and shape, 36.99, call it. They trade all the way up and actually positive this morning at 41.70. Checking in on some of the stocks yesterday, big news in terms of the Sprint T-Mobile merger. Sprint holding steady right where we finished up yesterday at about 844. T-Mobile, TMUS, actually looking to extend the gains up a bit again, closed at 94.49, looking to open 94.63. Verizon with a little bit of a tough day yesterday. It was interesting, the Verizon and AT&T, both of them traded higher initially on that announcement. I was intrigued by that, but traded lower nonetheless yesterday. Looking to open a bit positive, and AT&T pairing some of those losses as well. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be coming back talking about the other earnings we have this morning, what else we have for TAP on Wednesday. We'll be right back.
If you're in the CD market and looking for a secure investment, the Tiger First Mortgage Program may work for you. The security for these first mortgages are building lots in the tax opportunity zone in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Tax Act of 2018 set up tax-free zones across the country where you can build and hold for 10 years and pay no tax on the profits, which makes these lots valuable. The investment is anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000. The interest paid is 7% yearly, paid on a monthly basis. According to Bankrate.com, the best rate for a 4-year CD in the country as of February 20th is 3.1%. A $50,000 investment at a normal 4-year CD rate of 3.1% would give you income of $1,550 per year or $6,200 over the 4-year period. That same $50,000 investment in the Tiger First Mortgage Program would give you $3,500 per year or $14,000 over the 4 years. Which would you prefer, $6,200 or $14,000 of interest on your investment? If you would like more information about the Tiger First Mortgage Program, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190. The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my gold report. The Gold Report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-Shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. Markets in positive territory. We got about 45 minutes to go until the opening bell. Dow futures up 138, S&P futures up 13, NASDAQ futures up 46. Oil catching a bit as we talked about. Going to jump over to gold real quickly for a little bit of context. We were up as high as 1580 early on Monday. Call it actually about noon on Monday, trailing off a bit as the market has climbed back from the lows we had at that point in time. Gold trading about 1568. Jumping back to some of the other headlines out there today. Yesterday, first primary of the season, of the election season that is. Bernie Sanders narrowly beating Pete Buttigieg in New Hampshire primary. Seems like Biden was a loser in this one. You would have had Elizabeth Warren underperforming as well, vying for 4th place. Amy Klobuchar overperforming. It'll be interesting as this now shakes out. I believe they go to Las Vegas next, then South Carolina. Super Tuesday, I want to say like March 3rd. You're only talking about less than 3 weeks away from Super Tuesday when a lot gets laid out in terms of the neighborhood of who will come out of that Democratic primary, and of course President Trump winning that primary for the Republicans up in New Hampshire. What else we have going on today? Chairman Powell back in front of Congress. He will be in front of the Senate Banking Committee at 9:30 a.m. this morning, about 45 minutes right at the opening bell. One of the comments coming out yesterday suggesting the Fed may lack ammo to combat the next recession. That would only make sense, folks, when you think about where we are in rates. What does the Fed do when we're basically at all-time highs in the market and the Fed can't get us out of a super low-rate interest environment, let alone the rest of the world, at almost negative interest rates? So he was in front of the House yesterday, prepared remarks, then question and answer period. Today, in front of the Senate Banking Committee at 9:30. I imagine some remarks there as well. Nothing surprising in the remarks. Should be interesting when we get some question and answer coming from the Fed chairman. Earnings season. We got a bunch of numbers this morning, so jumping into it. CVS Health beating on 4th quarter earnings and revenue. 4th quarter earnings and revenue that beat Wall Street expectations, boosted by higher sales in its pharmacy benefit manager business. Drugstore expects 2020 earnings between $7 and $7.17. Here are your raw numbers: $1.73 a share for the quarter. Analysts were looking for $1.68, so they beat by 5 pennies. Revenue That is quite a beat on 90 days, folks. $66.9 billion, so almost $67 billion. Market was looking for just under 64. So you're talking about $3 billion in 90 days that they beat on revenue. As we work to transform the way healthcare is delivered to millions of Americans, we are driving continued business performance and generating positive momentum across the enterprise. CVS President and CEO Larry Merlo said in a statement, as a result of the significant progress we made in 2019 and meeting or exceeding our expectations for the year, we raised our outlook for 2020, as we said, $7.04 to $7.17 a share for the full year now. On an adjusted basis, CVS earned $1.75 billion or $1.33 a share, comparing with a loss of $419 million or 37 cents during the same quarter last year. Quite a turnaround, right? From losing $419 million to earning $1.75 billion. There's a lot of accounting that goes into that as well, though. So you have CVS shares trading higher. We'll jump into that in a moment. The health benefits business more than doubled in revenue from $6.24 billion during the last 3 months of 2018 to $17.15 billion during the fourth quarter, thanks largely to its November 2018 acquisition of Aetna. So there you go. There's the big increase there. Same-store sales, quite a number, 3.2% during the quarter. Sales in its pharmacy unit up 4.1%. Company's pharmacy unit revenue, $37 billion in 90 days. That compares to 34 last year. Just mammoth numbers across the board. Jumping over CVS shares this morning. CVS. There's your acceleration. Actually traded lower right away on the numbers. I wonder how that played out. What is this correlating to? So there you go. Gotta love the Thinkorswim platform. You can see exactly when the numbers come out, but nonetheless, looks like it was a short-lived spike lower. They actually figure out great numbers in there. It spiked to 76.35. The conference call beginning at 8 a.m., that going on right now, I imagine. 8 a.m. Eastern time, currently trading about 75.80, closed at 73.85. Other earnings out there, Bed Bath & Beyond, not exactly delivering the way CVS did, that's for sure. Shares plunging 26% on weak same-store sales warning. Bed Bath & Beyond said sales in the first 2 months of the final quarter were hit by increased promotions, falling store traffic, and inventory management issues. All three of those sound like mammoth issues for a retailer the size of Bed Bath & Beyond. The company said same-store sales for December and January falling 5.4%. Analysts only expecting a drop of 3.97% for the fourth quarter. Big numbers, big misses. Those shares trading lower. We got into the numbers in terms of same-store sales, 5.4. Market was looking for 3.9. Company said availability leading into the holiday period was also a contributing factor as inventory within certain categories was too low or out of stock. I mean, that's just stuff that you don't let happen during the Christmas season. Inventory management, one of the toughest things I imagine really to peg and to do well on a company of this size, but you got to get it done because if you don't sell it during Christmas, you ain't going to sell it in January or February. And talking about missing an opportunity. And there's your action on Bed Bath & Beyond. Closed yesterday at almost 15, opening today at under 11, 1093. It's actually making lows as we speak, and it's been a struggle for this stock for a while. Talk about a run, but you back things up to only April of last year. 1957 down to 731. Looks like they may have righted the ship as we climb all the way up to almost 18. But keeping in mind, folks, we're going to open at about $11. On this chart, you're now within the gap that we had from October, and there's nothing saying that we can't go down at least test $10, let alone maybe come back down and test this 731. You had volume here, but we're within this gap. This isn't showing the action this morning. We're going to open at around $11. Jumping around, I'm going to jump around a bit. Canopy Growth. Talk about some volatility, right? These stocks, quite the run, quite the fall off. You back it up to April. They all make lows. I say they all, as in the cannabis stocks. 1381 in November. Canopy almost doubles that price up to a high of about $26. From there, though, we've paired those gains to 1991, putting it on a little bit of a shorter time frame. Canopy yesterday, though, catching quite a bid. All of the cannabis stocks from 1865 to 2050, closing out the day at 1991. You also have Constellation Brands, which is a big player in Canopy, up near the highs they've had in the last 5 days, putting this on a yearly Not quite the volatility, but you still do see some lower action in terms of November. They reached a low of about 174, back into 199. That's Constellation, the maker of Corona, but a big investor in Canopy Growth. How about Kronos? Another big player. I mean, again, quite the collapse for Kronos into that November low of 6. Made it all the way up to almost 865, 870 the high, back at 688. Putting this again on a 15-minute, though, seeing the action on yesterday we got, there's just percentage-wise huge moves. Aurora Cannabis, I would be very careful of this stock. Tom sent me over an article recently in terms of a lot of the cannabis stocks, really, really short in terms of free cash flow. I believe Aurora has about 2.5 months of cash left before they go BK. Not saying they will go BK. They will have to get a cash influx. Maybe somebody will buy them up. But Aurora, the most cash deprived of all of the cannabis stocks, at about 2.5 months left of liquidity as they continue to struggle. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be coming back with what else we have on tap. A couple other earnings numbers this morning. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools, as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. One more check on the markets, right where we started off the program, basically, with the Dow up about 143, S&P's up 13, NASDAQ futures up 48. Folks, if you come on over to the front page of TFNN.com, you'll see Basil Chapman on the front page of TFNN. Tomorrow night, February 13th, Basil's going to be in there with subscribers to the opening call, talking about a dark cloud cover, not really a candlestick pattern. It's what Basil is using, the techniques he's using, looking at the markets, how he's calling market tops, ETFs he's using as a canary in the coal mine. He's got a bunch of great points he's going to be talking about. I encourage you to check it out on the front page of TFNN. Basil puts out a great newsletter, a great daily trading service for his subscribers every day. And when you do sign up, you gain instant access to 5 archived webinars Basil has in there for subscribers. You can start watching those today. 30-day money-back guarantee. Head on over to the opening call page. You can sign up for whether it's 30 days, 6 months, or a year. All of those come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. And he's got a bunch of topics he's going to be looking at. Great time in the market. We're almost at all-time highs. What peak are we at? We will find out tomorrow with Basil Chapman. Some of the other stocks out here before we wrap it up. Shopify, the e-commerce platform, earning 43 cents a share compared to an estimate of 24. Shopify shares trading dramatically higher this morning. Quite a run that they've had recently. SHOP, we'll get it in there. Check out that acceleration this morning. Closed at 492, looking to open at basically highs of the session. The conference call going on right now. That conference call starting at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, just when we got on the air, and it looks like they're even trading higher from that number. 544 closed yesterday at 492, but boy, oh boy, check out that chart. In the last year, 160 to now looking to open at about $540 for Shopify. Quite a run they've had. And Cyber, that was the next one. Drilling this down on a shorter time frame, they're out with their earnings this morning, and not the story of Shopify trading lower. Their numbers, 97 cents versus 90, but not what the market was looking for, trading lower on the open. Appreciate you joining me, folks. Stay tuned. Larry Pesavento coming up live at 9. I'll be back at 10 o'clock with Tom. Of course, Basil Chapman tomorrow night. Check it out on the front page of TFNN. We'll be right back, folks. Stay tuned.